Greetings, storytellers. I hope you're doing really well today. Today I really want to talk about responsibility. It's a huge thing that I've noticed that a lot of people need to work on. Something I need to work on. It's something we all need to work on. Responsibility really begins with one question. The one question being, how did I contribute to the situation? How did I contribute to this happening? How did I contribute to this moment? Unless you're asking yourself that, you're not taking responsibility. Too many times we look at other people and we say, well, he said this, well, she said this, well, he did this, and therefore I had to do blah, 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 blah. And yeah, there's a truth to that. In other words, you have to respond. But you have to respond with the ability to create the situation, not react to a situation. Too often we do things where we're doing something that is a response to somebody else, or rather a reaction to somebody else, because of something they said, because of something they did, because of the way they treated us, and so forth. What I came to understand is that that's not really how it's working. And I actually learned this a long time ago when I used to play sports. In other words, I would play basketball or baseball or play pool. And I used to get very nervous because when I was competing against somebody, I would get I just wasn't always myself, or I'd get highly competitive or highly not as good. Whatever the case is, I wasn't always at my best. And then one day it kind of hit me that I really wasn't playing anybody else. I was always playing against myself. In other words, if it's a pool table, every time I was up, the balls were in a certain position, and I just had to think how to shoot the ball. If I was playing basketball, the ball was thrown to me, I caught it, I'm standing in a certain place, no matter where I'm looking at the basket, and ultimately, it's just me taking that shot. There may be somebody blocking me, there may be somebody I have to get around, but ultimately, the ball's in my court, for lack of better words. It was my moment that I was just responding to the way the situation was laid out. It had nothing to do with anybody else. They thankfully gave me the opportunity to have a different moment. Otherwise, I'd be standing there taking the same shot over and over, which would get incredibly dull and boring. Instead, I had the opportunity, because I was competing against other people or playing with other people, that I could be in different places and take different shots at different moments. They gave me that gift. Life is very much the same way, you see? Somebody will say something to you, somebody will do something to you, which you may or may not like, but they're giving you that opportunity to take that shot, to respond. If there was nobody else there, what would you be doing? This is your opportunity, this is your test, this is your ability to be responsible. So I encourage you at every given moment, when something goes on, ask yourself one question. How did I contribute to this moment? And follow it up with number 2, what shot am I going to take? Meaning, what am I going to say right now? What action am I going to take right now? What is my next step? So number 1 and number 2. Put those two things together, and all of a sudden you are taking responsibility. Because anytime you are doing something because somebody else told you to, or somebody else did something and you reacted to that, basically you're a puppet on their strings. Think about it. If you're a marionette just dancing around and you're doing, the whole thing based on what somebody else is doing because they said something, because they did something, you no longer have control in your life. You want control? Take responsibility. Take that moment, we've talked about this before, and decide how you're going to respond. Always ask yourself, how did I contribute to this situation? And what can I do to now create the situation that I would love to have? What story am I going to tell? Looking forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, storytellers.